Bulgarian split squats, baby, the king of love-hate relationship exercises. We love them because they're a phenomenal exercise. They build lower body strength, stability, and balance. We hate them because they are brutal and extremely difficult. I'm going to go over a few different things here today in this video. We're going to talk about stance and we're going to talk about loading. We're also going to talk about some techniques to get the most out of this exercise. First things first, your stance. You'll see all these videos about how to have the perfect setup for the Bulgarian split squat, where they want you to kneel down in front of the bench and then stand up, and that's your perfect setup. Forget all that. The only thing you need to know is that the longer your stance is, the more glute you're going to be working. The more narrow your stance is, the more quad you're going to be working. I like a more wide stance because I like to use this exercise to hit my glutes. You're not going to isolate one or the other. You're going to be hitting both glutes and quads in this exercise, but you're going to get a little bit more to one end depending on the stance of your feet. So I'll show you what I mean by that. This is a narrow stance. My planted foot is not very far from the bench. So when I do my squat pattern, this is pretty quad dominant. Yes, you're going to hit some glutes, but the main muscle being used here is definitely the quads. The further you step out, the more you're going to start to bring the glute into the equation. I like to have a relatively wide stance, so I step here, bring my foot back, and then instead of standing straight up and squatting back and down, I lean forward just a little bit so more of my weight is in that front foot. This is going to bring it into the glutes even more. It looks like this. Nice and deep squat. A big misconception of this exercise is that you're trying to get a stretch in the quad of the back leg. So if my right leg is up here like this, a lot of people will say this is a great exercise because it strengthens the leg that's on the ground and it stretches the quad and hip flexor of the foot that's back. You don't want that. This is not a strength and stretch exercise. This is the king of single leg strength exercises, and it gives you some single leg balance. So stop thinking about getting a stretch in that quad and hip flexor. Do not squat back and down just to get a stretch here. Another thing that I want you to try to avoid is having your toes on the box like this, because then you are going to get a stretch in the quad because it's going to limit your range of motion and you're instantly going to feel a stretch here and it's going to restrict you from going any deeper. But if you go with the top of your foot on the box, you can get pretty deep. Yeah, you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch, but that's not the point of the exercise. So don't worry about having a super high box or bench. Just find something that's comfortable for you to put the top of your foot on. Sometimes a lower bench, people have a hard time putting the top of their foot on it. So a traditional weight bench like this is perfectly fine. A nice wide stance. Lean forward. Don't stand up straight like this. Forward lean, and then squat down, stand back up. You can do this with a couple of different loading patterns, meaning that you can hold a dumbbell in each hand. You can hold a dumbbell in the hand that is opposite of the foot that's down. You can hold it in the same hand of the foot that's down. You can hold a dumbbell or a kettlebell in the goblet position. You could even do these with a barbell on your back. The benefits remain the same. It just changes the resistance, it changes the stimulus, it changes the weight distribution. It also is going to change the balance aspect of the exercise. So the most important things that I would say that you want to think about when doing this exercise is your stance. You don't have to have the perfect distance, but remember, the closer you are, the more quad, the further you are, the more glutes, and don't have your toes on the bench or the box. You want the top of your foot on the bench or the box, slight lean forward, hit that squat, drive through that foot, stand up, squeeze your glutes at the top. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button and maybe share this with a friend who's trying to upgrade their Bulgarian split squats. And if you want more information, down to earth fitness and nutrition advice like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button.